Before we jump into the episode today, I want to share something with you from my heart. First of all, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. I really can't tell you how much your support means to me. We've been doing the podcast now for almost 4 years. I can't even believe it. And I'm so grateful for each and every single one of you that listens, shares an episode with your friends, sends me a DM or a text message letting me know how an episode resonated with you or any aha moments. Seriously, I couldn't be more grateful to be able to create this podcast. It has been such a blessing in my life, and I love hearing the ways it's been able to provide value in yours as well. One thing you might not know is how much work it takes to be consistent with a podcast. In fact, did you know that the majority of podcasts don't make it past episode number 10? And we are well beyond that. And it's just a lot thinking of the episodes, recording them, editing them, managing the guests, making sure that everything runs smoothly and gets uploaded consistently and regularly. And so that's why I have created an amazing opportunity for you to support the podcast monetarily. And in exchange for that, you will get exclusive premium subscriber content. So for as little as $3 a month, you can become a premium subscriber of the podcast. And every month I will upload new voice-guided workouts and breathwork meditation audio for you. So that way you can work out with me, coaching you in your ears. You can also take a moment to reduce your stress and relax and come down and ground down with one of my breathwork audios. So if that is on your heart to support the podcast for as little as $3 a month to become a premium podcast subscriber, I can't tell you how much that means to me and the growth of this podcast. I appreciate you. If you're interested, click the link in the description, become a premium podcast subscriber, new content every month, and while supplies last, I'll send you an exclusive podcast coffee mug so you can have your self-love and sweat coffee every morning. I appreciate you. Now let's get into the show. Welcome to Self-Love and Sweat, the podcast, the place where you'll get inspired to live your life unapologetically, embrace your perfect imperfections, break down barriers, and do what sets your soul on fire. I'm your host, Lunden Souza. Hey friend, it's me, Lunden Souza, online lifestyle transformation coach. I help people all over the world just like you who know they are meant for more, get their mind right and their body tight, and go from crazy busy to crazy happy. And hey, if it's our first time meeting, welcome. So happy to have you. And if you've been with us for a while, it's so great that you're here too. I'm really excited to share this episode of the Self-Love and Sweat podcast with you. All right, so in this episode, we have an interview that I did with one of my VIP coaching clients, Jessica. And we did this as a live video on social media a little while back. And so you'll notice that the audio quality is not so amazing, but the interview is so amazing. And she really is the epitome of going from crazy busy to crazy happy. And you guys know that my goal is to provide value for you guys and really create maximum impact. And so I really felt like I would be doing you guys a disservice by not sharing this interview with you. So Jessica is a wife to a veteran, a mother of 2 beautiful girls, and a 3rd-generation tax preparer. And we've been working together now for almost a year. And she has an incredible story that you guys need to hear. And you'll also hear me refer to her before and after picture, which obviously you won't be able to see through the podcast. But if you're interested in checking it out, you can go to lifelikelondon.com/VIP, which I've also put in the show notes if you're interested in seeing the picture there. So with that being said, enjoy this interview. So here we are today live. Hi friends, happy Sunday. I hope you're having a beautiful day no matter where you are in this world. It just so happens that me and Jessica today are in the same time zone, if you will. I'm in California, near Southern California, and Jessica's in the Central Valley of California. But nonetheless, we've been working together now for 6 months it's been. And she reached out to me 6 months ago. And it's really funny because we were just talking before this live chat about the pictures she sent me of her before and after that I'm going to show you guys. Just the mindset, the emails that she sent me from the beginning 6 months ago when we started working together. And Jessica, your story is just amazing. You inspire me every day. And I'm just so happy that you're here side by side with me, if you will, being able to have the courage to share your story, to share your message, and to help more people around the world. So first of all, just introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I have her little blurb. So as you can see, she's working on bookkeeping and tax preparing, but there's just so much more to who you are. So go ahead and share a little bit about yourself. Tell us about Jessica.
Hi, I'm Jessica. I am a tax preparer, but I'm also a mom. So I have 2 daughters and I have a husband who is a veteran. So I have a lot of things going on in my personal life as well as my professional life because I'm self-employed. And I work with my family's business. Well, I work with my family, my grandmother specifically, but my mom also does taxes. So we all do the same thing. So it kind of just came super naturally to me. And I put in like a lot of love into it the last few years, and it just is sort of taking off now, which is awesome. And like before I came to London, I was a lunatic, to be honest. Like I was just really chaotic and barely surviving, like struggling with so many things. And just like, what was it like last week? You told me you want to thrive, not survive. And I totally took that to heart. And that was just last week. And so for the last 6 months, it's been nothing but that. So like, yes. So I feel like a completely different person just within 6 months. And so now, I feel great.
Can I show your before and after picture?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You guys are going to love it. Show it to you from my phone. Give me a second. It's so good. It's so good. Check it out. Let's see. I have to pull it back here like this so everybody can see it. So there's Jessica before, like fatigued, exhausted, doing all the things. And then the other picture is this morning, right?
Yeah, today, yeah.
Yeah, like Jessica right now. This is Jessica right now, like literally right now. So this picture, I just feel like when I look at the email that you sent me, it was like a response to an email that I had sent you, like one of my newsletters. So I always respond and I receive like all these cool stories and great replies, but yours was very, very, very amazing. And I don't even want to say unique because it wasn't unique. It was really like, oh my gosh, you are speaking for so many women out there, so many mothers, so many wives, so many women, just in general. And so tell us a little bit about that moment when you wrote the email, what you're going through. I'm not going to like share the whole email with you guys, but maybe you can give some points of what you shared, because I gave it to you to review before this, because we were both kind of like looking at these pictures like wow, like we knew it was working, but when you see it, it's different, And then I was like, check out this email and look how, much of a lunatic you felt like then, And so, share it with us. Kind of where were you 6 months ago when you reached out?
Yeah, I was just chaos. Like I said, my number one word is crazy, which now I'm trying to replace that with vibrant and like abundancy and like busy. Busy is a really bad word too. So now I feel like I'm very full with like life stuff. But back then, like even in my email, I took a note where it says that I felt suffocated by life. And now I feel like totally different. Like I just want to live. And so it's like a mindset change. Like I up leveled like in every aspect of my life. Like I feel just like a different person all around. Like my whole entire like mindset is different. Like I feel like back then I was more like negative. That was my go-to. Like just right off the bat, if anything happened during the day that was not on my list or planned out, or like, I knew that I had to do these things in one day, but then if something happened negative or not even negative, I would turn it into negative. And now it's like, I try to look at the big picture and see like, what can I do to adapt to like what is happening? I need to look at it from all angles and see the positive in it more so than the negative, so that I can just live my life instead of sitting here being negative all the time and just drowning in things that just weren't even like, they were just crazy things that I was obsessing over all the time. And like housework and, taking care of your family and also being self-employed, it is a lot to take on for one individual. And so I just felt like at the time when I was writing you that email, it was like, this was me reaching out to somebody who I had been following for a few years. And I was just watching videos, thinking, why can't I be like this? Like, why can't I feel like the good vibes, like all the time, and try to see the positive in life rather than like, oh my gosh, I'm being suffocated and, I'm overwhelmed by things. And I just was like, I need to invest in myself. And just talking to, Lunden and you on the video chat, it just made me feel like I need to invest in myself. Like, why not? Like, it's a year out of my life. Like, why not try it? And hopefully I live to be like, 100. And this is just 1 year out of my life that helped me transform everything, And so, yeah, I feel 100% confident that like I did the right thing. I made the right decision. And like, just looking at the picture, it's like amazing, the transformation that's already happened. And we're only halfway through this whole coaching thing. So like, I'm so excited to see what's coming in the future.
Yeah. And I want to point out a couple things, because first of all, when you wrote me the email, you were struggling a lot with managing and just balance, kind of like the overall life thing. And at that time, you were mainly working like on your business. And now it's like you have your business, you've gotten into like a really good self-care routine. You started a nonprofit and hosted an event already. You're doing like growing your business for tax preparing and bookkeeping online, to grow your impact. Like, you're doing actually more. But the thing is that many people come to me and they're doing everything and nothing. And they're like playing goalie. So they're waiting for the balls to get thrown their way so that they can react. And I just feel like when you go into more of action mode and stop just reacting to everything that's going on, and you really can hone in on a few of those pathways that you want to really go on. So for you, it was, doing the good vibes, good vines, which was a really awesome little activation you did. Tree planting for your kids to get them excited and get them involved. And so I just think it's like so cool to see all the ways that you've kind of blossomed and grown in other areas of your life, despite feeling like I can't do anything else on and I can't do anything more. I have no time for like even myself. I'm barely coming up for air. But then to know that, hey, it's not really, you actually get more done in less time. You actually,
that is so cool. Yeah.
Purpose, and like, so share a little bit about that. Like 6 months ago, would you ever have thought you would have had your tree planting, like nonprofit event to donate to the community, your online business, like going freaking crazy? Like, you've gotten so many, new clients who are ready to like focus on their finances and do financial wellness. It's like, it's so cool to see in 6 months you can like clean shit up and then do more and then actually feel more fulfilled and more relaxed. Yeah. So what did that look like?
Yeah.
And feel free to share about your projects too.
So yeah, that is so cool that you bring that up, because I didn't even realize that until right now, that like I was doing a lot, 6 months ago, but I'm doing even more now. But I feel like back then I had lists and that was my jam. Like, I was writing like 8 lists a day for like certain things I wanted to do, but then none of it was getting done because I was just sitting there obsessing over like wanting to do it. And now I am doing it. Like, I just feel like I can do anything that I put my mind to. And yeah, so with the tree planting, that was the thing I wanted to do, because I was just like, my heart was hurting like for the Amazon. And that was my number one thing, was like, I want to teach my kids that like, we don't burn down forests, we plant trees, and we help like, Earth, because we live here. So like, I want them to know, like, give back. I want to know them, or I wanted to teach them how to give back and like support Earth, and like teach them how to do it the proper way, so that like they can learn how to stay grounded and balanced and like with their roots. So it was more like, I guess, metaphorical even, like where it was like I wanted to teach my oldest daughter, she's going to be 3 in April, and she is just so amazing. And she has such a kind, loving heart. And I just wanted to, show her how to do something like that and give back and keep the good vibes going. So, yeah. And it actually was a success. And it was my first time doing something like that. And the amount of people that did show up was awesome. Like, I was really excited, and everybody had so much love for the event. So that was really cool. And then like my business, in the letter that I wrote you, I wanted to do more virtual, like online appointments with people doing taxes and stuff, because I can do appointments with anybody. Like, I could do it with you in Austria or anybody like in Oregon. I have Rhode Island clients. So like, now that I have that option with technology, it's really amazing. I just didn't know how to start it, how to start doing it, how to put myself out there. And so now I'm totally using social media to my advantage as like basically free advertising. So I'm putting myself out there like that. And then I started doing webinars, which I've only done a couple, but they ended up being really awesome. And I was not confident with it at first. And now I feel like I could do this like every week and be fine with it. And I feel like 6 months ago, I wasn't really looking at my business as in I could help people a lot with like their financial stuff. But realistically, like, everybody needs somebody to help them with their financials at one point or another in their life. And so like, if I can help, one person with their financial stuff to get their life back on track so that they can take, a trip with their family, or they can budget better so that they aren't struggling throughout the year and they're thriving, like you said, instead of surviving, like it just makes me feel great. Like, I just want to make sure that everybody can thrive. So like, that was the main thing. And now it's happening and it's really cool. And I'm doing so much, but it's all positive stuff. And I don't have that feeling of like, I'm overwhelmed with things or I'm struggling. And so I feel like that vibe carries over too, because like the vibe that I give off, or the energy that I bring to the table, it carries over to other people. They sense my vibes. They get a sense of like, if I'm crazy, or if I'm vibrant, or if I'm busy, or if I'm just full of life and like have a lot going on in a positive way. So yeah, like I said before, I've channeled more of the positive energy into my life rather than the negative with this.
Yeah, I love it. And after I looked down, I was quickly checking my phone to see if I had a screenshot of it, but I posted something on stories. In fact, the book's not in front of me, but it was more so saying, and I'll post the quote down in the comments at some point, but it was basically saying like, people with a positive outlook and a positive mindset who want to see the positive don't necessarily don't have hard things, hard shit come into their life. It's just that while this is happening, we use our perspective as our superpower instead of our prison. So those are the strategies that I like to bring. It's like, it's not that, you're walking through it and the flowers are just blooming as you're walking and the sun shines always shining directly on your face. But it's more so the fact that, you have the strategies and the tools to manage and just to love your life and to love the time that you do have here on this earth doing what you can. And so I want to know what your top wins have been. I know you have some list of wins you want to share with us. So let us know what have been your biggest points, aha moments, wins, roses, if you will, as opposed to thorns over the last 6 months.
Okay, so let me look at my list really quick because some things don't change. Let's start with my morning routine. So I'm actually really excited about this one because I didn't have one. I didn't even know that it existed to have a morning routine before the kids wake up and stuff like that. And I can actually say in confidence that I'm doing super better in that aspect of my life. I may not have it together every morning, but every morning I do try. And when it does work out, it's amazing. Taking time for myself changes my whole entire day. So if I get up even 20 minutes before the kids, it doesn't even have to be an hour or, a long period of time. But if I'm up 20 minutes beforehand and I can just get myself situated, get in a good mindset, like if I can just read a little chapter out of a book or something. Like I'm reading like 3 of them right now. And so it is a struggle to read books, but if I can get up and do that for myself in the morning, it makes me feel like, okay, I've spent some time, working on myself, doing something I want to do. And then, my morning coffee is a major deal. So getting that, going for me is really awesome. And just having like the peace and quiet and the silence helps me feel like I have it together. And then I feel ready to take on the day, wake up the kids, get everything going. So I'm really excited about that. And like I said, it's not perfect yet, but it is a work in progress and super awesome so far. And then the part where I talked about the energy I bring to the table, that was like right in the beginning when we first started working together. And I have carried it over this far just because like being more mindful of my family and people that I talk to on a daily basis, it really is so amazing that like the vibes and the energy that I put out really does affect other people. And if I do not have like my shit together, like everybody else is just psyched on me. I feel like for some reason, I am the epicenter of like the calmness in my house. And so if I have it together and I have good vibes and good energy that I'm putting out there, like my kids, my husband, my mom, my sister, everybody, like they seem to be better off. So yeah, that's awesome. And like I said, we started talking about that 6 months ago and it still carries with me like every day. And the start of the year, I chose a word to carry over through the year, and it's mindful. And I feel like that has changed my perspective a lot just since like January 1st. And so it kind of goes together with that. So that is something that I try to follow with every day. And then more confidence to do things like this, like live videos for my business, because like 6 months ago in my email, I was like, I want to do online videos and stuff like that. And then I started doing the webinar 6 months ago, and I have changed drastically since then. My confidence is so much, like so heightened compared to back then. Like back then, I would have been like sweating, looking at all over the place, just like, what am I doing with myself right now? What do I do with my hands? Like, what am I doing? And now I just feel like I'm not perfect. So what I need to do is just be myself. And so that's what I do. And it seems to be working. So yeah, I'm just going to continue being me. And then the last one that I put down was the best one, which is being more intentional with my movement and my health. So 6 months ago, I was planning out meals every single day for like a whole entire month. And it was like mac and cheese and mashed potatoes, like whatever I could make to like feed my kids. And that was it. That was the goal, just to get them fed. It wasn't like, okay, maybe we need to incorporate some vegetables and like stuff like that. I wasn't even thinking about that because I was, like I said, like struggling, suffocated with life. Like I just needed to get my kids fed and put them in bed. And now I am taking the time to find recipes, teaching my husband how to cook stuff because he didn't know how to do anything. And so that has been a cool, like, what is the word? Like bonding experience, I guess, for me and my husband. So when we like cook together, it's super awesome. And then my kids, my oldest likes to like watch me cook, and now she helps me. We are getting her on a better track with like eating more vegetables and stuff like that because she's very picky. My little one, she'll eat anything and everything, so I don't have any concerns about that. But the movement is really awesome because I wasn't doing anything. Like I wasn't doing anything intentional for myself. Like I was running around like a crazy person in my house after my kids. So like that was kind of maintaining my weight, I guess, because I put in like 18,000 steps in one day. But it wasn't like intentional where I was like focusing on something or I had an end goal for myself and my body. And I had just had a baby 6 months before we started working together. So I was breastfeeding. I still had the baby weight. Like I just didn't feel good. Like I just felt suffocated by my life, by myself, by my body, my image. Like image doesn't really matter to me, but I really care how I feel in my clothes. And that was like making me feel really like bad about myself. And I don't like feeling bad about myself. So when I started this, I had a goal in mind to do yoga because I had done it before, like years and years ago, but then life happened and I stopped doing it. And so with yoga, it's become like one of my loves. Like, I love it. And I feel like I didn't know that you could love working out or like doing something for yourself like that. And now it's like, if I don't go, I don't even necessarily feel bad or like guilty. I feel like I owe myself the chance to go to yoga anytime I can or do something for my body, because after I do it, I know that I feel 100% better about myself. And I feel like I am even closer to the goal that I have set for myself, which it's not even anything major. It's just like losing the last of my weight, just toning it up, not necessarily like becoming skinny or whatever. I just want to feel good and feel confident and like be able to wear my clothes and to feel good in my clothes. And so that's my goal. And I am almost there. Like, I feel super amazing, like every single day now. And when I go to yoga, it's an atmosphere and the people there have become my friends and it's like a community. And it's one of the things that I do for myself now, which 6 months ago, I wasn't putting myself as a priority at all. So now I've incorporated yoga and eating healthier and doing my business stuff, which is growing now. That makes me feel really great because I feel like I'm doing something positive for my career and it's going to just benefit my family too in the future. So like, yeah, so everything with the intentional movement, the intentional health, like all of that goes together, but it becomes like this big picture where all the dots get connected. And when you get that and you have that feeling of like that aha moment where you're just like, this makes sense now. Like, I just need to do this, and this, and put myself as a priority and do self-love, self-care. Like, it helps everybody in my life. So it's not just about me, it's about everyone. And like, even in business, like I feel like so much more confident talking to people about bringing them on monthly or bringing them on as a tax client. Like, I know that I am super confident in what I do as a tax preparer and a bookkeeper now, where it's like before I was like, oh, I don't know how to talk to them about this. I don't know how to bring on new clients. I don't know how to, advertise myself or like make it a thing. And now it totally is. And I feel very confident in myself in like every area of my life. So yeah, it's really good.
I love it. I didn't say much of anything because it wasn't really necessary. Like, I just love hearing you speak. I love hearing you share. And on top of that, how you incorporate your you-ness and that part that makes you Jessica, like didn't go anywhere. It just channeled itself in better ways, in ways and in directions that you took the time to get super clear about what you wanted, right? You were going 100 bajillion miles per hour, as we all sometimes are, that we think we can't do anything anymore until we slow down and say, oh, I've been doing a bunch of stuff that does not matter. And when I slow down and I get super clear, and I love what you said, I feel like I'm in like church. I want to be like, amen, hallelujah. But what you said about how everybody else is impacted, and that's why I love working with women, is just like, because it's not just about you in such a beautiful way. Your whole family's trajectory will change. The people around you who choose to like be excited about that light and that vibrancy. Of course, when you up level your life and, work on things and do some coaching, sometimes people will drop off here and there. But the ones that you love so much and you want to show up better for will get so much more from you and so much more, kind of be able to squeeze that juice out of life with you. And it's super cool to see how it transcends into other areas of your life and to other areas of other people's lives. And so you're that rock that goes into the pond and that ripple effect, so you're getting that, message out there. You're helping people, get excited about their life. And it's just that, that overall, you're teaching your husband how to cook, getting your kids excited about planting trees, like making such a big impact. It's so freaking cool to watch. Like, this is why
Actually,
I'm obsessed with what I do. Go for it. What did you say?
So I actually realized I didn't even mention anything about my husband really other than cooking, but like, it's totally worth mentioning that within working with you, that it's carried over to him so much, like the fact that he quit smoking and he had smoked for like 10 plus years. And then one day he just woke up and was like, I'm done. Like, why am I doing this? Like, this is hurting my body. Like, I am paying for this monthly. And that's like a lot of money to smoke cigarettes and not do this anymore. And so he hasn't taken a drag off of a cigarette. He hasn't bought a pack. He hasn't done anything. And I really think it's been like 5 months now that he is totally cigarette free. And not to mention, with me being more mindful about like what we're eating and like having different types of recipes, incorporating vegetables more and being more mindful of like the health aspect of our life, I'm pretty sure he's down like 20 to 25 pounds now. And that was like a major deal because he was in, I want to say like a rut, but that sounds really bad, but I just feel like he was just stagnant with his life too. And so we were both just sitting here like, what do we do? Like, what are we doing with our lives? And so me making this, like, I want to call it like a power move in my own life where it's like investing in myself. I then invested in myself and my family. And now my husband is thinking about doing like veteran retreats so that he can help other veterans like work on their PTSD and go on retreats where they maybe could start doing yoga or something and incorporate that in. So like just the fact that like his mind is moving in a positive way and trying to like help others and put himself out there like that makes me feel so great. And I just feel like he tells me all the time that it's because not only you, but you are like a major factor. Like you have helped our lives, like all of us, like me, my kids, my husband, like everything. And so he is just so thankful and he's appreciative. And like we have such a better connection. Like we've always been really like best friends and we've had a great marriage and everything and relationship. But now we feel like, I personally feel like we have come closer together and like it's made us have a better relationship, a better marriage. We can then parent better. Like we're just on a really great track to just like awesomeness. So yeah, it's been super cool.
I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing about all his life. It's so important to know and to think about and to understand that it's like, yeah, you might lose some pounds and fit into your skinny jeans. Great. But like, what's that impact look like in your life overall and your mission? And then like everybody else that you love and that's in your family. I just love that. I just love that. Thank you so much for sharing. We are so rooting for your husband too. He's so amazing. I love about how you guys like teamwork together and do your thing. It's really, really inspiring. So cool. One last point, and I'm just going to show this picture one more time. This picture represents like so many women out there. And I just love that you're speaking for a lot of them because your voice and your vibrance for it is just so stinking cool. So what would you say to this Jessica, who is a lot of women right now watching, you know, what would you say to her, like in terms of like going for it and, you know, what's kind of that light at the end of the tunnel? And, you know, a lot of people are stuck in that rut and that stagnantness and that murky pond with all the moss and the whatever's growing on top of it. And it's time to like stir shit up. And sometimes that can be really scary. Like now you see it and it's great. And you're like, oh my gosh, I would have, you know, paid 10 times the amount if I knew I was going to feel this amazing, you know, but at the same time, there's a lot of people out there who are like really scared of what that change could look and feel like. So what would be like a few, you know, key points you would tell Jessica 6 months ago, who's actually living in a lot of us women these days?
I would tell her, like, go for it. Don't be scared, because that was a factor for me back then. Like doing anything out of my comfort zone. Like I said before, with my lists and stuff like that, I was not even trying to adapt to other situations. Like, so yeah, I would tell her, invest in yourself, love yourself. Like love yourself enough to invest in yourself, I guess would be like the appropriate way to say it. Just because like, if I hadn't invested in myself, I don't even know what I would be doing right now. I would be like, where would my marriage be? Where would my kids be? They would just be sitting there sucking on like pouches all day because I didn't even know like what I should be feeding them. Like, so I just feel like it has changed my life. And like, even though it's only been 6 months and it'll only be like a year that we have together, these are like things that you've taught me are going to go with me for the rest of my life. So it sets me up not only just for right now, but like for my future. And so I would suggest to anybody, I would recommend to everybody, like if you aren't already seeking somebody to be like, I don't even know, like your accountability partner or like helping you grow in any type of way, teaching you different ways to be efficient in your life instead of running around, you know, trying to juggle everything. Instead, maybe teaching you how to like put certain things in certain categories and then go from there. And like you said, like slow down instead of trying to do all the things. That's helped me a lot because like now I can just see signs like from the universe on a daily basis that tell me like, slow down, like you're not going anywhere. You have plenty of time for this. Like, because realistically, if you slow down and take the time for like all of the things that you want to do, all of your priorities, all of your goals, it's going to be better than you sitting here trying to go full speed. And you won't have the quality that you want in like the self-care or your business or your household or whatever it is that you want to do. Or that person 6 months ago, like if she just kept going full speed, she would have been burnt out, not doing anything. Like I said, handing pouches to her kids instead of actually feeding them. And so it's like, yeah, like all of this goes into my future and helps me be a better person, a better businesswoman, a better mom, a better wife, like everything. And so I would definitely recommend anybody to work with you.
It's so scary and it's so uncomfortable. And I think we even exchanged some emails when it got time to like make that investment and to take that leap. And just to say, yes, I'm in, you know, and we kind of worked through some barriers and roadblocks there too. But just quite frankly, like, as you can see, like I don't do cookie cutter work. I don't say like, come in and like stamp, let's do it the same for everybody. I'm really like, how do you learn? Where do you want to thrive? What sounds good to you? Like, I pull, I'm like, let's, figure it out. And then let's get the tools that you can have access to now. And also later, when other things come up or other situations or just whatever life decides to throw, because it does, you'll just have strategies and ways of handling things that are just better, less stressful, happier, more exciting. So, I just hope that, hold on one second. This is super funny. Hold on. Are you turning that off? Alexa, off. Don't you love Alexa? No, don't be sorry. My girlfriend has an Alexa in her house, and I've been using it since I've been staying here, but I feel like I need to get one when I go back to Austria because she's an awesome list person, time manager, helper. Nonetheless, thank you so much for sharing all of this information. I just really feel like, so excited to hear this, not only because it's like great stuff, but it's so well spoken. And I love the work that you've been doing online for all of your clients and this message. And so, I just want to end with saying like, hey, thank you for opening up and sharing this story with everybody. And for you guys watching, hey, if you feel like, hey, that's me, Jessica, you're speaking for me, because I just feel like so many women, when we think we're the only one, we think like nobody else knows what this feels like or can help me get through it or has ever been there, but we have. And you don't have to do it alone, between, everybody kind of going in and within the community of the Self-Love and Sweat Monthly that I've created, or in some of the group trainings and stuff too. It's like women come together and you just get to really help and support one another. And so I just commend you, Jessica, for sharing. And for those of you watching, this is the push that you need to really up-level your life and to unlock your superpowers and do what sets your soul on fire. And just continue to spread your you-ness in the best way and the most impactful way, no matter what that looks like, all around your family, all around your friends, all around the world. And I put links down below on how you can connect with Jessica if you're interested in bookkeeping and tax preparation. She does mine. She's super organized, so amazing, makes me feel like when it comes to finances, that's how I can explain it. And then if you're interested in doing any VIP coaching and you want to fill out an application to see if we're a good fit to work together, I've put that in the link down below. Thanks again, Jessica. Thanks you guys for watching. Love you lots. And see you next time. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Self-Love and Sweat, the podcast. Hey, do me a favor. Wherever you're listening to this podcast, give us a review. This really helps a lot. And share this with a friend. I'm only one person, and with your help, we can really spread the message of self-love and sweat and change more lives all around the world. I'm Lunden Souza, reminding you that you deserve a life full of passion, presence, and purpose, fueled by self-love and sweat. This podcast is a Hit Spot Austria production.